I struggle so much being in the clubs and hearing like shit DJs play well-made edits. They should be doing that live up there, but they're just playing one edit. And like, I'd kind of feel like a bitch playing those mashups like that, but also at the same time, like, work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And people like you and I or other DJs are the only people that notice that. If the crowd is feeling it, whatever. I remember the best advice Tim gave me before he passed was, one day I would get to a level where like none of this shit matters. Not another DJ, nobody else. And I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now.
Well, alright. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin.
Welcome back to the Party with Strategy podcast. Very special guest. We made it happen on the second time around. My boy is in the studio, the introverted DJ, Mr. Get Busy, the pride of the South Side. My boy Jay Illa.
Strategy, what up, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
First and foremost, I owe you an apology for missing our first date. That was around the start of training camp.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. Like, you hit me and I was like, oh fuck, I forgot. Because I was editing music for the boys, man. And when it's beer season, you know, and then like shit kicks into high gear.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So I'm sorry.
It's all good. We made it happen.
We made it happen for sure.
Yeah, that's all that matters to me. I'm excited, man. I feel like you got a lot of history. I mean, I remember meeting you when I was 19 at the Shrine.
Damn, word?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know you were that much younger than me. All right, dope.
I was 19 at the Shrine. My dad's fiance at the time, she was a hairdresser and she was friends with this girl named Ebony, and I had just started DJing and shit, and Timbuk Tuesdays was at the Shrine. All I was doing was delivering Jimmy John's, listening to WGCI, listening to the DJs. I'm trying to like figure out how to DJ by listening to them, you know what I mean? I'm like, are they mixing this song? Is this song already is this already like a mashup that they're playing? Like, does he have 4 turntables? Like, what's going on?
Right.
And so all I know is the Shrine. Like,
okay.
That's all I know is like the Shrine's the dope club. That's where 33 1/3's at. That's where Tim's at. That's where all the dope parties are at. See like ill ass performances there, Rock Kim and all this shit. And she knew Joe, who owned the Shrine.
Yep.
And she was like able to get me an opening slot there.
Dope.
And I did it like 2 or 3 times. Open for Vince Adams. I remember meeting him.
Everybody you're naming is family to me.
Yeah, super
sure.
nice guy.
I just rocked with Vince last Saturday.
Really? How's he doing?
He's good, man. Vince is so dope, man. He's the nicest dude ever. Like,
he was super nice. He I remember was like, yeah, you could play a couple extra minutes, you know, like you're good.
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays that's like a disrespectful. If I went into a spot and the opener was crushing and I was like, oh, keep going, bro, they'd be like, no, I have other places to go. I have things to do. I have this and that. I was like so happy to be like, yeah.
You also got to understand around that time, that was like the beginning of, not the beginning, but like that digital era of DJing was, you know, it was just really coming to the forefront, right? When I say we, like me, Vince, Tim, 33, the DJs you named, we were all product of vinyl, rocking parties, and you really wasn't doing 3 and 4 parties a night when you were on vinyl. You probably doing 2, maybe. But if you were going to the second one, then it's more than likely your vinyl would be all over the place. Like, you know, you wouldn't know where shit was. Because I remember, you know, some nights after DJing at like Wet Nightclub or Dragon Room, I would have like a stack of records like this high. And at the end of the night, we've been drinking and, you know, we young. Like, I'm not putting this shit back in the slip cases. I'm taking this and I'm putting them in between. Figure that shit out in the morning.
Yeah, so you couldn't really do 2 sets. I never even thought about that.
Oh yeah, nah. I remember like Vinyl, huh? One of my favorite stories with Tim Buck is me and Tim. We used to rock at 212 on the river together, and that's like 212 North Canal, and right where that Gibson Steakhouse is, like that used to be like just open space viewing the lake, and then there was a club right across the street. That was 212 on the river, and this is when the game first came out, and I had Higher on the white label, which is basically like a bootleg copy that I got. And Tim had to leave 212 on the river. He would kind of open up for me so he could go do Slicks, and we on vinyl. And my first record I played was Higher while he was like packing up. And Tim like looked up and he just jumped up and turned around. I was like, oh shit, I give you $50 for that record right now. And I was like, nah. He's like, I give you 100. I was like, nah. Like those vinyl days were something different.
Yeah.
But they was fun though. That shit was something different though.
That's sick. That's so sick, bro. And yeah, I definitely want to talk about Tim. I know when Boy Genius was on here, I was trying to get it in there and get some info, because I feel like in Chicago, there's a lot of young guys who don't know the history, and they need to know, and like that legacy needs to live on, and motherfuckers need to know who was out here paving the way and just doing amazing shit.
No doubt.
You know?
No doubt. So you just want me to dive in, or you got specific questions?
I definitely have specific questions. I have some things to ask you about, but I think even before that, I want to know like your story, your come up, you know?
Oh.
I mean, I met you at the Shrine, but like, you know, what were the first places you were partying? The Shrine was like, it was, for me, for sure, as a young 19-year-old who didn't really know shit, that was like top of the game. But what it actually was as well? Like,
Shrine was one of the last spots that was, I'd say, you know, at the top of the game. And you know, much love to Joe Russo. You know, he moved to Atlanta and he opened up Rocksteady, which is nothing but the Shrine.
okay.
Like it has a restaurant on the main floor and then like a lounge area up top. He still has the Pioneer 900 with the Shrine logo on it.
Sick.
Like I've DJed down there a couple of times, man, and it's always a great time. But my story, I was a 90s backpacker, you know, like just a straight hip hop motherfucker. I used to rap, like I used to break. The graffiti was never my thing because I couldn't draw, but I used to tag on buses too. Shout out my brother Hebrew Brantley. A lot of people don't know Hebrew started tagging on buses too. He had the third King Drive bus on lock. So right after high school, my high school baseball coach is DJ Sean T. And in high school, I used to like freestyle on his mixtapes and shit, and I'd sell them for him. And right out of high school, I kind of started interning at a mom and pop record store in Hyde Park on 47th and Lake Park called K's Music. And that's where I met a lot of like, that's the first time I met Happy from Hustle. Like, you know, Happy was doing like promo runs and like putting up posters and shit. That's the first time I met my guy DJ Fat Mike, DJ Sluggo. I met a lot of motherfuckers in there. And they had turntables. And there was an open mic night and the DJ stopped coming. So I just started putting the needle to the record to, you know, to play the instrumentals. And like, I was like, man, if I'm gonna do this, I might as well try to learn, because like it's some hip hop shit. And like, shout out the owner, Kina Bullock, because she would just let me be in there, like, you know, practicing. Man, anybody that's ever heard a new DJ practice, that all that shit it just sounds like complete noise, like utter train wrecks. But she never bugged out. She just had to let me be in there for hours practicing. One day, Sean T, my high school baseball coach, walked in and started cracking up laughing, and you know, I became his intern, like sorting his records, and you know, loading his car, and you know, riding with him to certain spots, and I'd be taking like his records and setting them up while he chilling and having drinks and shit. The same thing that Tim used to do for Twilight. I mean, that's how it was done back then. And shit, I you know, sometimes Sean will let me open for him, and he'd be like, "Yo, the first time you fuck up, You done for the night. And I'd be like, all right, you know. A lot of times that would be the first record, and then he'd be like, nope, sit down, and I'd be like, ah, damn.
But you knew another shot was coming on another night, maybe, right?
Maybe depending on how he felt.
Okay.
Maybe I really never knew.
Okay.
And then what really set me off was DJing at UIC, Circle Campus, like over there on like Halsted, like before all that shit was built, when the new dorm rooms were built. My homegirl Octavia, they had like a dorm room suite. Her and her roommate Sue. I can't even remember how I met Octavia. She was like a year or two older than me, and I think I was like 19 at the time. I had started DJing in clubs here and there at that point, but I wasn't like on yet. Like I had did some stuff in the south suburbs for Sean. I had DJ'd at Minx a couple of times with my man INC. Minx was 111 West Hubbard on Hubbard Street, like right across from where Hubbard Inn is right now. And I forgot what it's called right now though.
Right now, across from Hubbard Inn, it's like Point and Feather.
Point and Feather.
Okay.
That was Minx. It was a really small club, and they would do hip hop and shit. And that was like probably the first downtown club that I DJ'd in. I was 19 years old, and they snuck me in, and yeah. UIC, Tay and Sue, we called it Club 222 because that was their suite number, and they used to throw like dorm room parties, and that shit would just crack. Like it would be on some house party shit. Like we would be sneaking in like turntables and our records. Like they would distract the people at the front desk.
Yeah.
And then we'd have like 50 people in the room. And then from there I started doing the Black Student Union parties and like Greek parties and stuff like that. And I covered for Sean at a Greek basketball tournament at UIC. And I had to DJ for like 6 hours. And it's a basketball tournament, so I'm just really just playing records. And my boy Avery was like, yo, you should like heat it up real quick. Like just start DJing for real. You never know who in here. And I was like, all right. So for that next hour, I just started like DJing for real, like I was in a party. And it turns out that one of the guys that was hooping, who's an alpha, his name is Shane Evans. He was with New Birth USA, which was one of the hottest black promoters. And they had Dragon Room on Saturday nights. A week later, I was opening up in Dragon Room. I was 20 years old.
Sick.
Yeah.
Dragon Room, where was that?
809 West Evergreen. It was boutique.
Okay.
After that, it was boutique. So before it was Dragon Room, it was called The Tunnel. And then The Tunnel became Dragon Room, which became boutique.
What was the era of Funky Buddha?
Funky Buddha was the era of Dragon Room.
Okay.
So we talking like late 90s to early 2000s. I believe it was open in the late 90s. Definitely the early 2000s is when it was at its heyday, because Joe owned that at first. Joe Russo, who owned the Shrine, he owned Funky Buddha at first, and then I think he left Funky Buddha, and then he started and then he owned Cinnabar, and Cinnabar was the Crocodile Lounge on Milwaukee.
Oh, okay.
That was Cinnabar. So yeah, Funky Buddha was really dope. I know 33 and the Third really had Funky Buddha going crazy. What a lot of people don't know, like a lot of people know the name of John Monop and Don C. A lot of people know them. Hustle Period, but they had Dragon Room on Thursdays. I think it was Thursdays. And before they had Dragon Room on Thursdays, they had the Tunnel on Sundays. I believe that's right. I know they had the Tunnel on Sundays, which was crazy, because that was Word and Twilight. And then they moved then they moved it to Biology Bar on Fridays, which was all owned by the same dude, Mark Bortz.
Okay, dope. And did you run into Arturo Gomez at any point?
Arturo, I seen him. I never talked to him. Like by that time, I was just getting in. Arturo was so, huge and respected.
Okay.
Like I see him and I just, I kind of like, damn, go Arturo.
Yeah.
Or like, damn, go Billy Deck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like it was that.
Okay, tight. Because I didn't know, I had Arturo on here and he was telling me about his start and everything. And like he said that he started doing the hip hop parties and all that shit, and he's naming all these people and doing parties with Tim and shit. And I was like, damn, I didn't even know you did all that.
Yeah. Nah, man. Arturo put a gang of motherfuckers on, like, for sure. By the time I got on, like, he had transitioned to so much bigger shit. Like, he was kind of larger than life to me. Like, it's similar to, like, you know, John Monop and Don and them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to work at Foot Locker on State Street. And I remember Friday nights, man, like, well, Fridays, you know, we be listening to GCI and Foot Locker, and Mike Love, the Bad Boys would be on there, and Mike Love DJ'd Biology Bar. Radio was different then, because, like, Mike Love would be on the radio like, yo, check me out tonight. I'm at Biology Bar, shouting out Don C and John and them. And I would see Don come through Foot Locker, and like, you know, he'd be, you know, buying the throwback jerseys and shit. And I just used to be like, damn, look at Don C. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of these dudes was like super larger than life to me then.
Yeah, that's sick. That's really dope that you were just doing like an event that wasn't like necessarily a party. And it's really hard to get into a DJ pocket at something like that, where you're DJing, but like you don't really have a crowd. There's just people in front of you doing other shit.
Yeah. Like, not paying attention. You background noise.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
It's hard to like get into your bag in a situation like that, but you did, and someone recognized it, and then all of a sudden now you're opening that Dragon Room.
Yep. Thank God for Avery, my brother, because if it wasn't for him, I just would have been chilling, you know. But, you know, Avery is always, my brother Avery has always had the foresight. He's one of the most creative people I've ever known. So for him to be like, yo, you should just try to, you know, you just never know. He was right.
That's dope. So who were you opening for and shit? Who was kind of king of the scene at that time?
So when I got to Dragon Room, I would at first, when I would open, they had like a 5 DJ rotation. So I would open up, and then my guy DJ Legacy would come on. Legacy went to U of I with a lot of the New Birth homies. And then the headliner for that night was V-Dub.
V-Dub.
Back then, he went by the name DJ Von Woods.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And he was the one. Dragon Room was a 5 a.m. So, you know, you was going like, and I was pretty much DJing all night long, because I would open up and then I would go downstairs in the basement and DJ until the lights came on. But yeah, I would open up for Legacy, and then Vaughn. And then when I got my weight up, me and Legacy would like alternate the middle slot, but Vaughn would always close.
Dope. Is V-Dub still around? Is he still on the radio?
I believe so. I don't know. I haven't listened to the radio really since Tim died.
I know, bro. The radio's gone. Radio's over. And like,
shout out my brother Jamal Smalls, Mustafa Rocks. You know what I'm saying? Mustafa's on Power. Jamal is on GCI. And, you know, I've caught their sets a couple of times, and I'm like, yeah. But like some of the other DJs I've heard on there, I'd be like, you could tell this like pre-mixed. Like, it's not terrible, but it's just like the flavor is gone. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like when Tim was on GCI, all that, like Tim 33, they was all DJing live. So now like everything is so pre-mixed. It's just, I think that's the one thing that a lot of the DJs after our era lacks is flavor. But it's funny because the DJs after them, like, they're coming out and they like, I got some young homies like Kickin' Kenny and DJ Creed, my man DJ Serve. Like, they are all about the culture. Like, they remind me of me. They come out and be like, they asking questions. They like, yo, how did you do this? Or what made you play this record from this point? And, you know, how did you know this will work? Like, hungry. Whereas though I felt like some of the DJs directly after me were more concerned with being popular.
I could definitely relate to that. I could see that. That's definitely a thing. There's the younger kids, it's more of like a party boy kind of, I just want to be in the clubs having fun. It's not really about the music. It's not really about getting down behind the fucking turntables. And
that's cool. Like, I don't want to sit here and be the get off my lawn dude. Like, whatever makes you happy, as long as the people that you're DJing for love it. That's all that really matters. Like, when I started DJing, it was more or less like some hip hop shit. Like if you was either like a hip hop DJ or you were a house DJ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you were a hip hop DJ, then it was for the culture. You know. And then once DJing became more accessible, it became open to more people who always wanted to do what we do at a cheaper cost. You know, like I remember being in Gramophone, spending 3 and 4 hours digging for records and, you know, like sampling stuff. I learned how to needle drop in Gramophone from Twilight Tone. I ran into Twilight, and for those that don't know, Twilight Tone was Timbuktu's mentor. And
Timbuktu's mentor also did the cuts on Common's Resurrection,
Yep,
that
he
whole
did.
album,
Yep.
but just that song, like
Yep.
some of the most legendary fucking
one of
cuts.
Kanye's influences.
Yeah.
And so I remember running into him, and this was around the time like he was DJing at Biology Bar, and I had never heard a DJ bring records in not from the top. And I was like, man, how do you do that? And he was like, well, he just took a record. He was like, all right, so this is we gonna make it. He was like, well, I know J Disturb verse is like starts right here, so I just drop it here, and then I find it, and then I cut it in from here. He's like, sometimes I just try to go to the best part as soon as possible. And I was like, so then I started buying like 3 and 4 copies of the same record, and then I started putting tape on certain parts of so I could needle drop faster.
Yeah.
And those are my cue points.
That's dope. That's really dope. That's for sure something that I noticed from hearing Tim and 33 DJing on the radio is like, I remember clear as day, 33 and a third would come into Drake's Fancy at the breakdown. He wouldn't start it at the top.
Let me see your hand. That part?
Yep.
Yeah,
He would
man.
start it there, and then he'd bring in the beginning. You know, he'd come in with the intro.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's that flavor. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we had to learn how to do that on vinyl first, because there were no DJ edits. Like now you have 4-bar intros or 8-bar intros, or you could just blend everything in. You could just grab a DJ pack.
Mm-hmm.
There were no DJ packs on vinyl. Like you had to, if there was a record that was hard to bring in, that would lose energy, you know, like you had to figure out a way to bring it in. Perfect example is the Snoop Beautiful record. Like no matter how dope that record is, like cutting in the oh, like sometimes it just kills the energy. So I started bringing it in from like the end of the last break where he like, oh, I just want you.
Yeah.
And then I'd cut it back to the and it worked. So I was like, that's how I bring this record in from now on.
But that whole thing is now you download and edit off of a record pool from somebody who's already done that whole thing for you in Ableton.
Yep.
They started the song here, and then they even mashed it up with this song in the middle, and then it goes into this song, and that's just one track that you press play on, and it does the whole fucking shit for you.
Sure.
So like I struggle so much with being in the clubs and hearing like shit DJs play well-made edits that do really well in the room, which they should be doing that live up there. Like they should be playing that song into this song at the right time to get the energy that it's creating, but they're just playing one edit. And like I struggle with half the fun of DJing is doing that live, and also like I'd kind of feel like a bitch playing those mashups like that, but also at the same time, like work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, and people like you and I or other DJs are the only people that notice that. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, it boils down to if the crowd is feeling it, then, you know, whatever. I remember the best advice Tim gave me before he passed was, he had told me one day I would get to a level where like none of this shit matters. Not another DJ, nobody else. And I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now. Like I see DJs, DJs I've given advice to, or younger DJs who I know if you put them on the bill with some killers, they wouldn't be able to do what they think they know how to do. But coming from the culture of where me and Timmy and DJ Word, Mustafa Rocks, Jamal Smalls, where a lot of us came from, like it was competition. Boy Genius, Big Once, like this is hip hop. You know what I'm saying? To quote Kendrick Lamar, I'm usually homeboys with the same people I'm rhyming with, but this is hip hop, and you niggas should know what time it is.
Yeah.
Like there is no problem with being competitive. And then like a lot of this shit became like kumbaya, let's hold hands, and that's cool. Me and Tim was a way better DJ than me, but we were super competitive. I wasn't just gonna lay down like, nigga, we gonna be like, let's rock, and then getting on that Timbuktu Forever stage with legends like DJ Scratch, D Nice, DJ Enough, and then Chicago's finest. You don't want to be the DJ who's forgotten. It was go time. I know a lot of legendary Chicago DJs that ain't want to be on that stage.
Can we? Any names or? No, I'm kidding.
Just know that there were a lot of DJs that were invited, and someone was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna chill." It was like, "Yeah, all right."
They were cool. A little shook.
Yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, maybe not. I know some legendary DJs that were on that stage that's not from here that would be like, "Yo, how was my set? Like, how did I do?" Or like, Chicago's the hardest place I've ever DJed, especially on some hip hop shit.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Really? What do you think? What do you think makes it that way? Like the taste level, the acceptance of something cool is so high, or what do you think makes it that hard?
We just too cool, man. Like I've DJed in spots where ain't nobody danced all night, and I'm over here searching, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then at the end of the party, they be like, man, you killed it. Like
really? Because I had no idea.
Yeah, I had no idea. Because you motherfuckers wasn't moving like at all. So then it was that era of the era before my era danced a whole lot. And then my era danced somewhat. Like we'd have to wait till the liquor kick in a little bit, but then we'd be on the dance floor dancing and having a good time. And then like after us, it was like motherfuckers was just like, once it came to bottle popping and standing on couches and bottle wars, like the dancing just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talk about Dragon Room did, I bullshit you not, Dragon Room was a 3-level club. They did like 750 people every Saturday. Biology bar was huge. It did like 600-700 people every Friday. Motherfuckers was buying bottles, but they would have like bottles at a high boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is so long ago, you could smoke in the club back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, Funky Buddha and Shrine, these were dance clubs with dance floors. So I think once the bottle era took off, that kind of killed the dancing too. But I do see a resurgence of dancing. I just wish I saw more of a resurgence of the art of DJing and not just playing music.
I think it's going to come back because dancing's definitely coming back a little bit. Places are going dance floor heavy. They're actually putting a dance floor. It seemed for a while like if a new club popped up, their table configuration was made to make you feel uncomfortable unless you had a table.
Yeah, that fishbowl, like Lumen was like that. La Passage was like that. Like if you ain't have a table, you felt like god damn, like I'm broke.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't stand anywhere because you're just in the way. Motherfuckers are walking to get to their table, and you're just standing in their walkway.
Yep.
Yeah, that was kind of fucked up. But yeah, I think that the dancing is definitely coming back, and I have high hopes that DJing is going to come with it, because there is, I mean, like sometimes I catch myself DJing in this bottle service, get their attention kind of way, more so than like keeping the flow of what's happening going for a dance floor kind of thing. And I really noticed this when I played in Miami, because I was at Blackbird, and it's a huge dance floor, and I'm DJing like on my party rocking bottle service type shit, and it's kind of like play some hype shit, it goes crazy, and then boom, hit them with the next one, and you're like constantly switching, trying to get them going. And they were not, that it wasn't it for them. And then my boy A Train went on, and I'm watching him play, and he's DJing like longer blends, doing cool shit, keeping like the dance floor mentality kind of going, keeping a more steady flow. And I realized quickly, like, okay, I'm too caught up in this bottle service shit. Like I'm constantly trying to get someone's attention. I'm constantly trying to create like a moment, because that's the only thing that goes off in these clubs, you know?
I wonder with that, is it also like the DJs that we've been around? Because like a lot of Chicago DJs, like we, you know, not only do we like to blend, but we like the hot mix as well. And hot mixing can be annoying for some people.
Yeah.
You know, but before drops, that's how you kept the energy going in a party. You know, before you could hit a button for an air horn, like it was like one verse and out, you know, or maybe just a hook of a song and out, you know. So I wonder if the crowd just wasn't used to that as well. Because even here, like I'll see some of the younger people and they're not used to my style of DJing, where my style of DJing was like a normal thing, you know, for so long. But the DJs that they're used to, who people turn 21 every day. So if they go into a college party and they're listening to the DJs they like at college, that's what they're accustomed to. And it's, you know, maybe they're doing nothing but blending or playing songs longer. And then they hear somebody with a different sort of skill set, and it's kind of like they're shell shocked.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that happened when you were in Miami too. They were kind of shell shocked, like this ain't what we used to. This shit is kind of new. For
sure. That's exactly how I felt. And I was like, oh damn. It made me realize like, okay, I can also, you know, that's not the only tool I have in my bag. Like, let me recalibrate. But yeah, it was definitely eye opening. And
I can see that.
And I think it's taught me a lesson on, for sure, it's not all about the hype shit, especially when there is a dance floor. Because I'm not really used to DJing for dance floors. Like, I'm kind of starting to get used to it now, because it's happening now.
Yeah, and I went from dance floors to bottle service, and now kind of like back to dance floors. So like that bottle service shit was crazy. Like I remember, you know, I've had promoters say, "Hey, play something they can buy bottles to." Like what? That's always my question. Like what? I don't know. Then chill. I've had motherfucker. I remember I did a party, man, and this was at Studio Paris. I had motherfucker, and it was, so as DJs we know, like there's a, you know, a gradual ascension to get to the peak of a party. Like you don't want to go too hard too soon. You want to warm people up as they, you know, come in and they start to drink, because once the liquor kicks in, the music hit different. And, you know, it's in that time where the liquor is starting to kick in, and motherfuckers is dancing, and, you know, I'm getting call and response, but it ain't all that packed yet. Like people still coming in, but excuse me. And one of the promoters come up and say, "Can you play some bottle popping music?" Like what? I don't know. Look around. What do you see? I see people dancing. I see people, like, you know, smiling, drinking. Exactly. Like there's a method to this madness. Like let it unfold. Like I could see if nobody was doing anything, but these motherfuckers is kicking it. And when they get drunk, or, you know, and they people come in, you'll see more bottles swimming. You'll see like there's a formula to this. You have to let it on. You cannot force anything, because when you try to force it, What happens in Miami happens, or what happened to me at plenty of spots happens when you start fishing and you be like, well, this ain't working. Well, let me try this. Oh shit, this ain't working. Well, let me try this.
Now you're scrambling.
Now you scrambling
Yeah.
because we trying to force it. All dope parties happen organically.
That's a very strong statement. That's a fact right there. Once you start trying to force shit is when you start getting fucked up in your own head.
Yep.
Now you're confused as to whether you should go back to what you were doing because it was working, or do you continue down this road that you now opened up the door to, and you're going back and forth, and maybe you even throw in a different option. I mean, getting in your head and scrambling is...
It's the fucking worst.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of the younger DJs forget, like, this shit is also a business, right? So, like, even before all the bottle service shit, like, if like as a DJ, like when you are scanning the crowd, I don't know about anybody else, but when I DJ, I scan the crowd for pockets of people who are having a good time regardless, and then I will play for them.
That shit spreads out.
Because that energy is infectious and it spreads out. And then I look for the pockets that might be trouble. Because if they getting too wild, then it's like, yo, I gotta chill out for a minute. I have to rear this energy back in, because if shit go up, it can be bad. And I think a lot of DJs forget that part. Having it turned all night is not always good. That's how people get hurt. You know, sometimes you gotta chill. I remember I was DJing at Dragonfly one night. Dragonfly is what the fuck? It's on Randolph and Green. It's what's that? Not Hacienda. What the fuck is the name of that spot?
Randolph and Green now?
Yeah.
Is
right on the corner.
Like by Parlor, you mean, like right by Soho right there?
Yeah, but it's on the northwest side of the street.
Northwest.
Barciana? I think it's Barciana.
Yes.
Yes, that used to be called Dragonfly.
Okay.
I'm rocking a Dragonfly one night. Dragonflies, the way it was set up, could be real dangerous. Like, you come up the stairs, then it's a dance floor, then it's a bar. And, like, there's a rail, and, like, you could, like, motherfuckers could be, like, fall over. And shit is up. Like, motherfuckers is kicking it. And I'm looking. And I'm like, I told my homie, I'm like, I'm about to slow this shit down. He said, wow, this shit crazy. I said, look at them niggas over there. I said, all they got to do is bump into the wrong person at the wrong time, and it's a problem.
Then the whole party ends.
Then the whole party ends.
Yeah.
I said, I'm about to slow it down. I'm about to play some reggae. I was like, motherfuckers will stop dancing. Women don't dance. People will go get some drinks. It'll level off a little bit. I'll do that for about 15 minutes. Then we'll come back. My guy, and this is my guy, Prolific, producer. Pro was like, damn. He was like, I wonder how many DJs think like that. I said, not enough right now. And that's why clubs are getting shot up. I was like, because all they see is motherfuckers kicking it and going crazy, and the energy is on 1,000, and they want to keep it there. And you can't always do that. Sometimes you gotta level that shit off. Let motherfuckers relax a little bit, bring that shit down, come right back. If you good enough, puppet master, bring them back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real shit. You definitely sometimes can feel the energy in the room turning a little bit.
Always.
And you're like, oh, we're having fun for sure, but we're on the brink of
something disastrous.
Something bad potentially happening. Let's fucking bring them this way. Some people might get mad, but fuck them. We'll be back.
Man, strategy. I've done like some of the hooded shit where I'm like, I'm just going hood enough.
Yeah.
Where they party, but not too hood where it gets out of control. Everybody got the same goal at the end of the night. Get home safely.
Yeah.
Everybody got the same goal. Whether you want to admit it or not, you know, whether you think about it or not, if you're in this nightlife industry, if you're a DJ, you're a security, manager, bartender, we all have the same goal. Get home safely. And at the end of the day, if security is letting questionable people in because they they taking money, then it's the DJs. We're the last line of defense.
Yeah, we are the last line of defense. That's real shit.
Then you have to be confident enough to be like, nah, and you'll get pressure from managers. and owners, like, I need this to happen. You want to keep your club?
Yeah.
Because I see what you don't. And that shit is real, man. I've been in far too many parties where shit has gotten out of hand. People got shot, like tables and chairs have been thrown.
That's fucking terrifying, bro. Gunshots are terrifying.
Terrifying.
That is absolutely terrifying. I heard some at the end of the night a couple weeks ago over on like Hubbard and LaSalle. And like you just like, dude,
early
it was late.
Early in October?
Had to be
Over
2-3
Rock
weeks
Bar?
ago. Somewhere right over there. Yeah. Oh no. It was more west, like LaSalle, Wells,
Okay.
kind of area of Hubbard.
Because a friend of mine, her son, who was in the nightlife, like October 4th, was just murdered outside of Rock Bar.
That's terrible.
So when you said the gunshot, and he was in hospitality, great young man. I think he was bartending or something like that, but like trying to intervene and you know and take care of one of his homies. Sad.
That's so sad, man. I'm sorry for your loss. It's terrible. But yeah, I mean, I feel like these things are popping up now in the city because I left for 3 years. I've been back for a year now, but I was in Houston for 3 years prior to COVID. You could tell when like the energy in a room, a fight might happen or something, but I never experienced a ton of shootings and shit, and like all that stuff is kind of new for me in nightlife, and it's fucking terrifying, bro.
I remember a few years ago, I was DJing I was at Excalibur. What's it called now?
Tao.
Yeah, Tao.
Yeah.
Back then it was Excalibur.
Yep.
So I did an event at Excalibur. I was with my homie Taiwan. And Tim was DJing at 151. That was like on Ohio and like LaSalle. And we were done, and we was like, man, let's roll over, catch, Tim. It was like, bet. So we go in, party packed. Tim is killing it because that's what Tim does. Next thing you know, we see this big ass fight kick off. Like in the blink of an eye. We had no clue. Like you didn't feel the energy. It just popped off like. And I had never seen Tim just like, he kind of froze. He was just like, and I was like, dude, call security to the dance floor. Bro, it was a melee. Like security started whooping everybody's ass who was in their path. Like we saw a dude laid out on the floor, women like bottles being thrown. Me, Tim, Taiwan, like we just like ducked under the DJ booth. Like I called the police. Like some 3 chicks like ran up into the DJ booth and was like yelling. The 911 operator was like, "Sir, the women in the background, can you tell them to be quiet so we can hear you?" I was like, "Yo, y'all gotta chill. Like y'all good here. Like nobody's coming up here. Like they out there." That shit, like when we got up, it was like the biggest dude. He was just like laid out. I'm pretty sure he was alive because there wasn't no gunshots or anything, whatever. But I think he got hit in the head with like a chair or a bottle. Like I'm like, the fuck, like shit's crazy. Shit was crazy.
That's wild.
Crazy. And I remember security back then used to all be like, they were all like sheriffs or correctional officers and CPD. And back then, like all security guards are like, their names are like Herc, Ghost, Cujo. Yeah. Now we got people like Edward. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy named Jack, he got into it with Stephon Marbury in the club at 151 one night. And Stephon Marbury, he was just talking shit because, ball player, millions of dollars. Jack was like special forces. Told Marbury, look, you get paid to shoot baskets. Opened his coat. I get paid to shoot people. Marbury was like, you got it, bro. Yeah. You got it, bro.
I'd have said the same thing.
Yeah, like, because these niggas Jack worked at boutique. Like, and in the calmest voice ever. Some dude was yelling at him at Boutique one night. I go to my trunk and air it out. Jack was like, "You'll never make it." Like, that's some scary shit, bro. Scary shit.
Yeah.
Like, somebody looks at you dead in your face with you'll never make it to your car. Man.
I gotta hire Jack.
Yeah. I don't know what Jack is on now, man, but I felt safe when he was around for sure.
I love that. That is the nice part about being in the club so often. You know everyone, you know all the security. Even though it's a little scary at times, you do have that backup of like, these are my homies.
Oh yeah.
At the very least.
They would be in there with bulletproof vests on. They come in the DJ booth early and talk. We'd be talking. They'd be like, "All right, I'm about to go outside. Strap on a vest." I'm like, all right.
Yeah. I'll be in here drinking, playing music.
Yeah. Like now, you see some of these security guards, man, now, they either starting fights or they don't want no smoke. It's different days, man.
It's so funny that you said that they used to have nicknames and shit. Like my boy Rock. There was this dude Rock who worked at Stout when I was over there. And then Parlor on Wicker Park.
I remember Parlor.
It had just opened. It was I think it was their first one. The first one was West Loop,
okay.
Randolph Street. I think the second one was on Division. Summertime, big ass patio. It's packed as fuck. Opening day. Everyone's excited. Everyone's there. Rock's outside, security in front. And they had to kick some dude out. And the dude was out there fucking yelling at Rock, this and that. I'm going to come back here and shoot you, like threatening him and shit. He just hit him one time, laid him out on Division Street on the sidewalk in front of Parlor. Opening day. There's like people walking by with their strollers, like dodging this lifeless body on the fucking sidewalk. I'm like, that's the guy right there.
Yeah. I remember my guy Herc, man. Herc was so funny. Herc would embarrass the shit out of me. Not like on some little brother shit. Like back then I was driving like a 97 Nissan Sentra. And I'd pull up and I'd like unload my records, and then like it would be like a line of people outside. He'd be like, "Jay, what up?" He'd like, let me see something. And I'd be like, "Herc, what you about to do?" And then like he would walk behind my car and like pick it up. And I'd just be like, "Herc, man, can you put my car down, bro?" Like one day I had like both of my records, like I had like 2 flight cases in my hand. I walked up and Herc was like, "Illa," and then he like picked me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm only like what 5'8.5", 5'9", you know, and I'm in my 20s now, so I probably only weigh like 150. And I got my records, and this is a line of people. I'm like,
that's crazy.
Hey, Herc, bro, can you put me down, bro? Like, bro, can you put me down? Like, this is embarrassing as fuck, bro. Like, yeah, like I said, man, times was different. Shit was a good time, though, for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, so just to try and connect the timeline here, we'll try and get back. This is so much fun, though. I'm glad you came. This is incredible. Pause. You're opening at Dragon Room, and then like what year do you think that is? Probably
2003.
2003.
Yeah.
When do you meet Tim? When do you start to like really become, you know, take the next step from opener DJ new guy to like, okay, I'm running with these dudes? I'm like,
oh man, I remember this like it was yesterday. This had to be 04 maybe. Yeah, this had to be like 2004. So I've been in Dragon Room on Saturdays for a while now, and Twilight is no longer at Biology Bar on Fridays. He's now on tour with Common for the Electric Circus tour, and Tim is now doing the middle slot at Dragon Room. I'm sorry, at Biology Bar. And I used to always go to Biology Bar, not to kick it, but to your point, to listen to DJ. What are they playing? What's working? What's not? How are they playing it? Like, it was my research, my homework. Tim is rocking, and I'm just on the side and I'm chilling. And Tim has been DJing parties, pardon me, since we were in high school. So of course we all know who he is. And he shouts me out. He's like, "Shout out my boy Jay Illa, what up?" And I'm just like, holy shit, Tim knows who I am. Oh shit. me and Tim really started to get cool. This had to probably be like '05, '06, and New Birth. The people that were doing Dragon Room on Saturdays, they're doing Sundays at Minx, and Minx is a 4 a.m. And so it's the after party for all the 2 a.m. parties. And I'm DJing, and we still on vinyl, and I'm DJing in there. And Tim used to come there after wherever he was done DJ, he would come through, and he would hop in the DJ booth and and DJ on my shit, like throw some records on and cut up some shit. So that's when me and Tim really started to get cool, and I started to hang out at Leaders, 1354 when it was at the Bronzeville location, and I got cool with Vic Lloyd and Mike Hunnits and all of them, and we started doing parties together. Fashion Geek Zoe, Autumn from Sir and Madam, and we all started to get really cool. And the name of our crew back then was actually called The Breakfast Club, playing off of the 80s movie. And we started booking Tim, and Tim started DJing for me and my homies So Shy, and me and Tim just started getting really cool after that. And Tim is the one that put me on Serato, and we ended up being roommates for about a year.
Nice. That's sick. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong. This was a long time ago. When Tim passed, I remember obviously everybody's in shock. Everybody's devastated. There's so many people on social media talking about how much they love him and how amazing he is and everything. And I remember you tweeted something like everyone who's talking about how nice of a guy Tim is never even knew him because he was an asshole.
An absolute fact.
And that was the realest shit ever, bro. That's how I knew. I was like, okay, you really fucking know this guy. Not that I'm saying he was an asshole, but the fact that you were able to say that when everyone's, being nice and like trying to do this thing, this
the thing that we do when people pass, we kind of like, oh yeah, I was cool with them. Like big, my brother, he was so nice. Yeah, strategy. I promise you. Last week, I was on the phone with 33 and the Third, and we were talking about this very thing.
Okay.
Because the last time I saw 3, we were talking about a situation that happened, and he was like, it was just one of those things where it was at a Timbuktu forever. And he was like, I'm just looking at all these motherfuckers around talking about how cool they were with Tim and how nice Tim was. And he was like, I love Tim. Tim was a funny style nigga. Tim, my biggest description of Tim was a Sour Patch Kid. Like first he's sour, then he's sweet. That was Tim. Me and Tim didn't talk for like 6 months, bro. Like we fell out really badly. And
at a certain point, like after you guys were homies?
Yeah.
Okay.
We fell out really badly to the point where I was like, I can't fuck with dude. You know what I'm saying? And then we rekindled. And it's my brother. I love him to death. I still talk to his parents. I love his parents. His mom even said to me one day, I don't know how you lived with him. But Tim was my brother, man. Yeah, for good or bad, he was my brother. But yes, he was an absolute asshole, and he absolutely did some of the most amazing things for my career.
Okay, I have to pee really bad. I'm gonna pee. Take a break for 1 second.
That's hilarious.
But we're gonna get back right into this. I have a bunch of questions.
Shoot. Yeah,
you need water or anything?
Water, please. Bottle of water if you can. Thank you.
Very exciting news. Brand new sponsor for the show. Shouts to Long Drink. They see the vision. If you guys like what's going on here, you got to go buy some Long Drink. Thank you for watching. We'll be right back. Check this out. All right, party people. You know how it is. Late nights, great music, and that perfect vibe. And what's a better way to elevate the night than with a refreshing drink in your hand? I'm talking about the Finnish Long Drink. If you haven't heard of it yet, the Long Drink is not just any drink. It's a legendary Finnish favorite that's been around since the 1952 Summer Games. It's a deliciously refreshing blend of premium liquor, natural grapefruit flavor, and just the right amount of carbonation. It's smooth, crisp, and perfect for any occasion, whether you're chilling with friends, getting the weekend started, or just winding down after a set. And the best part? It's super convenient. No need to be a mixologist. Just crack the can and you've got a perfectly mixed, ready to drink cocktail. Whether you're into the classic, zero, or strong, there's a long drink for everyone. So next time you're tuning into the show or spinning your own beats, grab a long drink and take your night to the next level because good vibes deserve great drinks. Cheers to the perfect mix, music and long drink. Let's go, champ. Let's get back to the show. Thank you guys for watching. Shouts to long drink. Make sure you go grab one. Peace. All right, we're back. Sorry. So if you could give like a good tight description of Tim and like all of his fucking accolades, just for if there was somebody watching who didn't know who Timbuktu was, a young, uneducated person.
Yeah, Timbuktu started DJing in clubs when he was 16 years old. To the point where he would carry his records on the train to get there. Toured with Kanye, toured with Lupe, was the first ever DJ in Chicago to have a radio show solely dedicated to Chicago artists.
Go Ill Radio,
Go
right?
Ill Radio,
Yeah.
that is correct. Let's see. What else did this brother do? I mean, that in itself speaks a lot. He was a heavy hitter. Everything that Tim never chased anything. So everything that ever happened to Tim came to him. He only had one job other than DJing in his whole life. He worked at a law firm. And he told me a story or some crazy shit. Like one day he just said, forget it, and like slept on his desk. And I think he messed around and got fired and he never looked back. There were so many times where he walked out of GCI like, I ain't gotta be here. And then they were like, whoa, come back. Like he had that much power.
I remember on Guru's birthday, Guru from Gangstar.
That was the day GCI tried to check him because he did the tribute to Guru live on air, and they told him he couldn't do that. He told them, well, I don't have to be here.
And I remember because like I'm listening to it on the radio and I'm like, damn, this is fucking sick. And then I remember seeing the tweets where he was like, I did that tribute to Guru and like they had a problem with it, and like he gave the insight as to like how it was a thing. And I was like,
yep,
damn.
it was a huge thing. The beautiful thing about Tim's journey is as tough as of an exterior he always showed, he always felt like he wasn't doing enough either. Like every other DJ. Like, what can I do to take the next step to be more? I should be further along, like we all do. You hear the tagline all the time, like, your favorite DJ's favorite DJ. Tim was my favorite DJ. And I always told him that. So, yeah.
Thank you. That's beautiful. And for me, I didn't know him at all, but when he passed, obviously I have been listening to him on the radio forever. I've seen him live. I went to Timbuktu's days. My 21st birthday, Izzo, this is when Timbuktu's days was at Beauty Bar.
Mm-hmm. I remember Izzo.
Izzo asked me to fill in for him opening up. So I opened up on my 21st birthday, Timbuktu's Day at Beauty Bar. That was like a fucking huge thing for me, like insane accomplishment for me. Monumental moment in my life for sure. And then I remember when he passed and it was so sad, and I saw how much of an impact he had on this entire city from being a sick, amazing DJ. I'm literally sitting behind the turntables at Parlor, just collecting a check, playing on a Friday night, 10 to 2, $100 an hour. I used to be Ross Dress for Less, loss prevention. Now I'm making money DJing. It's the best life ever. But then I'm like I'm literally sitting and people are just eating and like they don't give a shit what's going on with the music. I'm just collecting a check. It was a eye-opening moment where I was like, I need to like really do something. I need to really chase being the greatest DJ I could be, not just sit here and collect a check.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely remember the impact that he had putting that on me.
I think that's the beautiful thing about what we do. Like, we don't know how we impact other DJs. And it's important for us to tell these other DJs, pardon me, about how we are impacted by them. And so that's why it was always important for me to tell Tim and 33, like, yo, it's because of y'all. Like, I want to get better. And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, ever since Tim died and 33 left, Chicago don't move me no more. I got a lot of homies. I got a lot of dope, DJ friends, but them two, the way they moved me to be like, yo, I gotta go home and fucking practice. Like, I haven't had that feeling since the last 7 years. Tim died in 2015. 3 did not stick around too much longer after that. And after that, I just kind of been in like cruise control, which sucks. But, I got to find a way to get that fire back, to be honest with you. But, I say all that to say, if any DJ who watches this is inspired by another DJ, like, tell them. That shit's important. Like we need to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then that motivates us to keep going, because it's like, oh my God, people are actually listening and paying attention. So it's a lonely business in which we do. It's a very difficult bit. Like, nobody gives a fuck about how we feel. There are no sick days. Like, you got family drama. You got into it with your girl, like, and you got to work that night. You got to work that night. They don't give a fuck about what's going on in your crib. So that's why I say, tell the people, the DJs who you love, like, let them know, because that shit's important.
Yeah, definitely. It's always nice to hear. Sometimes you don't even know that you need it. Someone could say that to you, and you're like, "Thank you, man."
For sure. Like, I battle depression. Nobody would know. Nobody knows that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they look at what I do. They look at what you do. They look at what, like, Slade does, or Francesca, Kid Clay, Protege, and all these other, DJs who are consistently working out here and making everybody else smile and putting smile. They don't know how we feel when we go home, or the shit that, is going through our minds. Like, for real. Nobody will look at me and be like, damn, Jay is depressed. But this is what depression looks like. You know what I'm saying? It looks like, smiling when you don't fucking feel like it. Most of your favorite artists or actors, they deal with real life depression. You can't tell me Ye doesn't deal with real life depression after the loss of his best friend, who's his mom. Like, this shit is real. Mental health and shit is real.
Yeah. And we, unfortunately, I think a lot of us use alcohol to help that. I know sometimes I do, for sure.
For sure.
Because it does help.
For sure.
Sometimes you need it. Like you said, you got to get to work. You got to go to work. They're not going to pay you unless you're there playing music.
Yep.
You feel like shit. Take a couple shots. You might feel a little bit better.
Yep.
But that's a slippery slope.
So, listen. You walking on a black ice patch. You driving on a black ice patch with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Luckily, I've kind of learned to channel that energy through DJing, where it's like, I was talking to, I may have been talking to my therapist. Yes, I have a therapist. I'm a supreme advocate for therapy. So I was either talking to a therapist or a friend of mine, where I told them, I was explaining on how tired I get sometimes after DJing. And then it hit me like, you know, I channel a lot of my emotions through like my DJ sets if I'm really into it. Like, yo, I'm about to leave it all out there. And when you do that, you're drained. You have nothing left. And the older you get, the longer it takes to recover from what we do. Like, you know, for the people who don't DJ, who watch your podcast, sometimes it takes days to recoup and get that energy level back, especially if you are like DJing 4 events in 5 nights, 6 events in 5 nights. Man, by that 6th day, like, sometimes your body just can't take it anymore, whether you're drinking or not. Like, this shit is difficult.
Yeah, the best DJ set that you could give somebody, you are giving them what's inside of you. And to do that takes a toll on your body for sure.
Man, and that's why the older you get, it's probably not the best, to drink. Like, I don't drink as much as I used to, of course. I may have one drink, I may have a couple glasses of wine, but that, I don't take shots,
But when you do drink, it's Remy.
But when I do drink, I'm teaming up for excellence. It's Remy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Remy neat. And that's another thing. And that's another thing for, you young people that's out here watching, like, learn how to drink.
It's a skill.
It's a skill.
It's a definite skill. I feel like if we were taught younger how to drink rather than just like, don't drink until it's time, and then when it's time you can drink. Like, if somebody sat you down and said, all right, drink this, how do you feel?
Right.
Drink this, how do you feel? You feel pretty good, huh? All right, yeah, you want to keep that good feeling going. The more you have, it doesn't equate to the better you feel.
Right.
Like, you want to find what feels good and balance that. Keep that.
And some of these spirits are meant to be sipped, not shot. You don't shoot everything. You could have a nice double pour of Remy neat, and that could probably last you 45 minutes. Get you a nice glass of water with it, just every now and again.
Neat.
And you will still feel a nice, serene feeling, as opposed to being drunk and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. And then everyone learns along the way. It's so funny to watch people learn. Like, they're like, oh, I'm not doing sugar anymore. They realize that, like, the shit that you're mixing the alcohol with is half the battle.
Yeah.
You can eliminate that and you have a little bit more longevity.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
I've been on my wine kick. If I'm not drinking Remy, I'm like, yeah, let me just get a glass of wine. A couple glasses of wine, I'm cool. I'm also 43 now. So, if I want to keep doing what we doing, and I don't like DJing late anymore.
Yeah, bro. I mean, how incredible is a gig that's over before midnight?
Oh man, I love it. Like, give me all the day parties. Yeah. Motherfucker hit me and be like, hey, can you DJ from 1 to 3? I'm sorry, 1 a.m.? Nah. Protege has hit me several times. Like, hey, can you cover for me? Like, can you go on at like 12:30, 1 a.m.? Ha, bro, come on. Yeah, you knew the answer before you. He was like, I did. Yeah. I know. Like, nah, man. I was like, and the crowd I be DJing for? Nah, man. Nah.
That's so funny. So I remember when I heard you at the Shrine. It was one of the first times I heard somebody cutting off the snare. Like, to me, that felt like that was your thing. And I'm sure it's changed over time. I mean, that was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But
shit.
I remember it was a very distinct sound. I remember it was one of the first times I heard somebody pitch a song up like 5 or 6 BPMs to get more energy out of it. I want to say it was Empire State of Mind even. I can feel like I remember the song and being like, okay, he's playing this faster than I normally play it, and it's got more energy.
Yeah, it's funny because now with Serato, you hit the music icon and you could pitch it up no matter what, and the pitch stays the same. But back then, like when you were +5, +6, and sometimes that shit would sound like a chipmunk. But you're right. I did it strictly off of energy. And, you know, again, I'm just a hip hop motherfucker. And one thing's for sure, like, there are no rules to this. Like, you make your own rules and whatever works, works. And there are some people out there that probably hate the way I DJ. And that's fine. Because they have their own preference. There are some people out there that love the way I DJ. And I love that. But if you don't dislike it, but if you dislike my style, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Like, I'm at the point now where I don't give a fuck about the turn up. I'd rather just play like some really good shit and take you on a musical journey. I got a chance to DJ for Common, a couple of months ago, and I was like his DJ during his set, and he was like, "Do me a favor." He was like, just make sure you pitch everything up like +3. He was like, "Cause I need that." I was like, "Energy," and he was like, "Exactly."
That's sick. Where was that at?
We did an event together. It was the Sonesta Hotel on like Wacker, over by like Wabash. It was a Rolling Stone event, Rolling Stone times Sonesta, and he did a surprise performance. At first, he was supposed to just do like one song, and he was there for sound check, and he was like, "Man, you got this." The real funny thing is, he back at that point, he kind of knew my face, but he didn't know me. So when he came in and he shook up with me, he kind of gave me that look like, and I was like, "Yeah, we've met several times." I was like, I was Tim's roommate. I know Twilight. I was like, but here's the kicker. When I worked at Chicago Public Schools, I was your mother's driver. So me and Com's mother, Dr. Hines, got like super cool because I would have to like pick her up from the crib and drop her off and take her places, like when she had meetings downtown. And he was like, and there was a time where I had to take her to surprise him at one of his events, and she was like, "Rashid, this is Jay, this is my driver." So when I told him, he was like, "Yeah," he was like, "I remember that." So, we are going over his music, and he's like, "Yo, you got this?" And I was like, "Of course." I was like, bro, I'm a fan. And this is what I thought was so dope. As he's like, "All right, well, let's do this song," and he's getting other ideas, and he's like, "Well, can you cut it in from here?" And I'm doing it, and he's like, "All right." He's like, "Yeah, it's dope." He was like, "Well, let's try it from here." And then he's like, "Okay, I like your way better." So he was receptive to what I was showing him. Like, I think we should do it this way. Like, he wasn't like, "Man, I'm common. Like, don't be telling me how to," he was very receptive to my ideas. And what turned out to be him doing one song, we ended up doing like a 15-minute set.
That's sick.
That we did on the fly during sound check. And he had his DJ dummy like send me other show tracks. So like that shit was just, I'm rambling at this point. I don't even know what the fuck we were talking about, but
it's a good story though.
The pitch up.
Yeah.
So like we're from the same era. Like I'm under him, but that same backpack era with like energy instead of, "You can't go over +2 because then it'll sound weird," and like all these other, like, man, fuck them rules.
Yeah.
Does it work? Are people dancing? People kicking it? Let them kick it.
Yeah, that's real shit. Wait, so do you remember what songs you did with Common?
Yeah, absolutely. We did a couple of his new joints. We did fuck. Of course we did The Light. We did Go. We did oh god, goodness gracious. I'm singing a song in my head and I can't remember the title.
It's all good. I'm actually horrifically bad with song names themselves.
Ain't that the worst thing in the middle of a set when you like, what you want to play and you can't remember the song? You be like,
can't find it in the search.
What the fuck
You're just searching like 2-3 letters of what you think might be connected to it.
Like, how was it spelled? Like all that shit. But yeah, we definitely did Go. We did The Light, and we did like 2 songs off of his new album.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah, and
DJing for Common is fucking. That's top of the list shit.
Man, bucket list.
Yeah,
and the first time I DJed for Common, at his assistant's birthday party at Soho, Tim Buck hooked that up because Tim was Tim was sick and couldn't do it. So, and I did not know that Tim put me onto that. I found out later. So that's why I was like, he did a whole lot of shit for my career.
Yeah, that's sick. Was he just like, hey man, I'm sick, you got to get to Soho and fill in for me, and then you got
No.
there and it was common?
No. I was at lunch with a friend and my manager too hit me. And he was like, yo, we just got a call from Juan and Only Events. And she was like, she asked if you could DJ an event at Soho for Common's assistant. Pardon me. And he was like, hell yeah. He was like, ain't no money, really. I was like, hey, look, sometimes it ain't about the money. Sometimes it's about getting in the room and getting the look. And then we did it, and it was dope. And Juan was like, yeah, Tim was supposed to DJ, and he said he couldn't. And she was like, she said she asked him like, should I call Illa? And she said Tim's response was, nobody would do it better than him if it's not me. And I was like, holy shit. So like I hit him up immediately, like, yo, bro, like, thank you.
That's so
And
sick.
he was like, man, like, all good. And that's how you know it's genuine. Like a lot of people in our business will be like, yeah, I just told so and so to call you for this event, like yada yada yada. I think that shit's corny.
Yeah, try and get one in their pocket. Get an IOU for when they need it. Make sure they know. Make sure you know that they made this happen for you.
Right. And I think that shit is corny.
Yeah, for sure it is. Timbuktu had a scratch that I would hear him do on the radio all the time, and it was like brain breaking, because when you're cutting, you're taking the fader from one side and you're cutting in the sound that you're cutting. But he would put the fader all the way over to the record that he was cutting and cut the song that was on back in. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you, because I do it, because I got that from him. I do it too. It's like yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And I heard White Shadow do it at the Starbucks event a couple weeks ago, and I hadn't heard it literally since I heard this man DJ on the radio, and I was like, holy shit, he's doing the fucking Timbuktu scratch. It was crazy. And I asked him about it. He was like, yeah, I think I stole that from Tim.
Yeah, which Tim probably stole from Twilight.
Okay.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep. Like that backwards thing, the backwards drag scratch that Tim would always do. He got that from Twilight too.
Okay.
Which I do sometimes, and I got that from Tom.
That's sick, dude. That's so sick. Does Twilight still live in the city?
No, he's out in New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw he just did an event here at Bodega, which my fucking boys run, and I wish I would have known because I would have gone. But he just DJ'd at like in the West Loop.
Was
like
that last
weed party
Friday or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was a couple Fridays ago.
With Rude. I think that was Rude One's release. Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. Tone had actually hit me about that. I didn't get a chance to hit him back. I wanted to go, but that was around the time I had found out about my friend's son passing, and I had another friend on some health issues. So I had just kind of like unplugged and stayed in the crib.
Yeah, that makes sense. Recharge.
Yeah, man. For sure.
Did you listen to a lot of Chicago hip hop, like all that Mole Man and Juice and like that whole backpacker?
J.U.S. is my man, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I listened to a lot of Juice. Who else did I rock with a lot? Pugs Adams. Jeez Louise, I'm trying to think who else on the underground side. All Natural. If it was on HBK, I was listening to it. There's some other people that are definitely slipping my mind. I remember the Family Tree album that Tone B. Nimble did. Like that shit was incredible. I believe Tone B. Nimble did it. I know he was a part of it.
Yeah. He was half All Natural.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep. So yes, I was definitely listening to underground Chicago hip hop, for sure.
The best, bro. the fucking
sure.
best.
Yeah.
When at the Timbuktu Forever at the Metro, when Rude One dropped Ill Advisory, that shit with Juice and Cap D from All Natural. Incredible, bro.
Juice is one of the Juice is one of the coldest, man. I remember if I'm not mistaken, he almost signed to Rockefeller in the early 2000s too.
He's got so many stories, bro. It's amazing. I actually had him on the pod. Syph brought him over here.
Oh, dope.
It was sick, dude. So sick.
Dope. Yeah, I know. I think he still lives out in LA. Shout out and rest in peace, my brother Twan Gabs. Twan was one of the coldest. Like super duper cold. And no longer with us. He died of breast cancer, I believe it was.
Damn.
Yeah, he was him and Tifa were married for some time. But Twan was really dope. I actually put Juice, Twan Gabs, Mickey Halsted, and Rhymefest on the song. Like when I did a mixtape many moons ago called Revenge of the Backpacks, I had them over LL's 4321.
That's sick. Is that anywhere? Is that on the internet anywhere? Or you got to have a hard copy to have?
It was definitely on Fake Shore Drive. Like Andrew posted it. But I could send it to you.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Fuck yeah,
I'll send it to you as soon as I get to the crib.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Hell yeah. Do you remember the whole beef? You remember like the Matlock and Mole Men beef?
I definitely remember Matlock. I don't remember the beef.
He did a whole diss track about all the Mole Men guys, Vakil and Panic and PNS and Astonish.
I don't remember that at all.
It was over Jay-Z's Takeover.
Oh, okay.
Instrumental.
So around that time, that's when I really dug deep into like trying to make it into the clubs.
Yeah.
And I had kind of like stepped away from the Chicago underground scene.
Okay.
But I remember hearing Matlock. Shit, there was the most hip hop backpack ass spot in what's now Pilsen, but like in like '99, you know, Pilsen what it is now. It was like ran down old warehouses, and it was a spot called Planet Mars. This is like the most hip hop shit ever. And I remember hearing Matlock in there. I believe it Matlock. That was the first time I heard him. I bought his album, and I thought it was so dope. I actually gave it to Juju and Psycho Les from the Beat Nuts. Like, yo, you gotta hit this dude, man. His name is Matlock. That's when I was working at K's Music.
That's fucking sick, dude. I was Matlock's DJ for
real?
A couple shows, yeah.
I remember the first time I ever heard Matlock get like served was at one of the All City battles by my guy Raz Rock.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was like, "Why you rocking Mecca? Ain't nothing Arabian about you." I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Yo, Raz, why you?" I was like, "Fuck." Yeah, I think Prolific. It was a duo rap battle. I believe Prolific was up there too.
Okay.
They was a part of Ill Nature, and you know, Prolific ended up being a part of First and 15th. He produced for Lupe. He produced Just Might Be Okay, and he produced The Pressure, the Lupe and Jay-Z record.
Okay. Damn, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's fucking sick. Yeah, so the whole beef was because Matlock was signed to the Mole Men, which was like the ill Chicago underground rap label. And then he got the chance to rap over a Kanye beat to be featured on a song with E.C. Illa. E.C. Illa got this Kanye beat, wanted Matt to rap on it. Matlock wanted to do it. I think he did do it, but then the Mole Men said he couldn't put it out because they only wanted him to rap over their beats, because the Mole Men was like a bunch of producers.
Yeah.
And that sparked this whole beef, this whole lawsuit. He's trying to get out of his contract now. He just signed with Mole Men, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It was like always a thing. And then there came a point where it ended, right? The court ruling came in, or the however many years of the contract was up. Something happened where it ended. And then Matlock put out this huge diss track, like, to commemorate.
You still got it?
I could for sure find it.
Yeah, I gotta hear that shit.
Yeah, I could for sure find it.
I gotta hear that shit.
I think it's off the Matlock Hates You mixtape.
Do you still talk to Matlock?
I haven't talked to him in a minute, bro. I want to get him on the pod, but it's been a minute. We did film like when I was doing all this send nudes wild shit. We did film like a video where I was drumming on some girl's butt cheeks and he was like freestyling. It was pretty funny.
Dope. Yo, that Send News campaign was classic. That shit was classic. You got me in trouble one day because I did something like it, and it wasn't even half as bad as your shit. I was like, see, this is what I get for trying to be like strategy, man.
That's hilarious. Yeah, bro. So much history in Chicago. So much dope shit. I love every time I talk to someone who's got new stories and a different perspective, but it's all from the same city. It's awesome, bro.
Little big town, man. It's a little big town.
Yeah.
Everybody know everybody.
So how'd you get linked up with the Bears?
So, right place, right time. At the time, the person who was like in charge of like in-game entertainment, she's now like the director of equity and inclusion. Her name is Tanisha Wade. She had heard me DJ at Promontory a few times, and she knew that other teams had DJs. So she was trying to get Ryan Pace, then who was the general manager, to approve the budget and open up a position for a DJ. She was like, I got a DJ that's on mine. She was working on it for like a year or two. And apparently she had gotten in touch with my manager too. And she was like, yo, when I get this, like, I need you and Jay ready to roll. I had no idea. Like, when I found out, I was in Canada. So it was like August of 2015. I'm at Carabana. And Two hits me. And he's like, we got the Bears gig. And I'm like, oh, shit. I was like, all right, here we go. And we was off and running.
That's so dope, dude.
Yep.
So what goes into something like that? It's obviously much different. Do you have to play clean music there?
Yeah, like squeaky clean. It has to be approved. The biggest challenge is like, so I'm the players DJ. So I do training camp, I do player warm-ups, and then after player warm-ups, they'll wheel my DJ booth by the locker room. So the players are all like 15, 20 years younger than me, you know. And the music that some of them like to hear, like, there's just no getting around it. Like, I can't play it. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's not clean and it's not like clean not enough. A friendly enough.
Yeah. Like the league has to approve some records. So, it is a very slippery slope. Like, we'll just say that. And, I don't know many DJs who could, do this job and still be doing it after all this time.
Yeah.
Like, I've literally gotten to it with players a few times because of the music that I can play and the music that they want to hear. I remember I got into it with he's not on the team no more, Bellamy. This was back when training camp was at Bourbonnais. We had lunch, practice is over, we had lunch before I leave. And he sees me and he's like, man, you gotta play that shit. And I was like, man, I gotta follow directions. I was like, if I get fired, you gonna hire me? And he was like, man, yeah, and I'll pay you more than they paying you. I was like, bruh, I'm gonna be on the team longer than you. You gotta remember, man, like all of these dudes are like 10, 15 years younger than me. Like, in some cases now 20 years younger than me. Like, I don't, like, you're an overgrown kid. Like I'm not gonna take shit off of you.
Yeah.
Like, I remember Two got into it with Kyle Fuller. Like, cause you know, sometimes all I can play is the instrumental. Like, they would run over like, we ain't doing that instrumental shit tonight. And we'd be like, word? Go tell such and such that then. And then they just walk off. Like, yeah, the fuck out of here, man. Like, I'm not fucking up this gig for you.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wouldn't imagine that's what you would run into a lot. It makes sense for sure, though. Do you find yourself making a lot of edits and things?
Yes.
Like you're maybe you're cleaning up some old
Yes.
Jay-Z song or something,
Yes.
like some cool shit to play, and you
Yes.
got to clean it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe like do you put popular 90s lyrics over a newer beat that they want to hear type thing? Are you doing
I've done
stuff
that.
like
I've
that?
done it live. Like I've put like country records over, you know what I'm saying, like trap stuff. Like
Yeah.
I put
You and Morgan Wallen.
I put what's that Cody Johnson, that Welcome to the Show? I think that's Cody Johnson. I put that over Nipsey last time that I checked, and it went over crazy. I was like, yo, this is kind of crazy.
That's dope.
I've put Journey over Bodak Yellow. Like, you know, like you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah.
you gotta kind of make it work.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've been doing it for so long now. We found a really good formula that works, and the energy around this team has been much different than any other team I've been around. Like, the most memorable day at training camp this year was, like, they'll come out and I'll have like music going before practice kind of starts, where they just coming out, kind of just like warming up. And I was playing like 90s R&B, and I was playing like Tevin Campbell, Can We Talk, and Chris Brown, Yo. It's like stuff like that. Stuff that you don't think football players don't want to practice to. Next thing I know, we see like one of the coaches, and they like, yo, turn it up. So we turn it up. And then my manager, he has a radio, and our equipment, one of our homies who runs equipment radios in like, yo, the player said keep it right here. Like they want this vibe. And I was like, holy shit. So next thing you know, I'm playing like Keisha Cole, I Changed My Mind. I'm playing Dream, Love Your Girl. They out there kicking it. Yeah, I start playing like I'm a Piano remixes. I'm playing K Tronada, and they out there kicking it. Like afterwards, like a few of them was like, yo, did you record that? And I was like, nah. So that was the most memorable day of training camp this past year.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's tight. That's gotta feel good to be part of a team as a DJ. Like that's kind of what I love most sometimes about some gigs at clubs is like I'm working closely with these people.
Yeah.
You know, the GM really wants to make this the dopest spot and really wants to do cool stuff, and we're meeting and coming up with ideas, and like you feel like you're part of a team in a successful venture.
That's a fact. I don't think they know actually how old I am though. Like one of my homies is a personal chef for one of the players, and she was like, yeah, your DJ Jay Illa, like that's my homie. And she said one of the players was like, yeah, man, he got an old soul. I was like, nah, fam, like, no, I'm old. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm old. But some of the coolest things, like some of the players, like, yo, like they'll ask for stuff that you don't think of, like, yo, play 50 Mini Men, or you throwing some Benny the Butcher, and I'm like, you want to hit Benny? Now you talking my language.
Yeah.
Like you want to hit Benny, now you talking my language.
That's sick. That's awesome. Yeah, man, you're crushing it, bro. It's.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Cause sometimes I don't know what the hell. I'm just out here, throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah. That's the DJ life. I feel like
the DJ life for sure.
Just doing whatever, making whatever happen, making whatever you can happen.
Yeah.
Making whatever happen you can. I don't even know how to talk anymore. This is incredible, bro.
Man, thank you for having me so much, man. Like I see the clips, got a chance to watch some, and now I see my own clip.
Yeah,
and be like, oh shit, don't I look stupid?
I'm gonna send it to you. All clips are approved before they go out. Listen, I know some of them are a little crazy,
bro. This is your platform. I have not said anything. I never say anything that I'm gonna be like, oh my god, edit that out. So use what you want to use.
Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, man.
Use what you want to use, bro.
Chicago history definitely won today. That's for sure.
You know, mind you, like, you know, there's been a long time. Some of the places I weren't there for sure. So I gave you the best I could. Whether the facts were a little jumbled, if they were, I apologize, you know, for somebody who may hear and be like, that's not accurate. It wasn't done purposely.
Yeah, that happens. We DJ a lot of parties. Like one time my boy tried to explain it to me because he was asking me about like, oh, do you remember this night? We had such a fun night, this and that. And I was like, fuck, bro, I can't remember it. Like I kind of felt like an asshole. And he was like, honestly, it's fine because like you work, that's the environment you work in. You know, that's like asking somebody who sits at a cubicle every day to remember a specific day that they were sitting in their cubicle or something. You know, like we do this shit every fucking week, multiple times a week for years on end. And sometimes the shit gets scrambled. For sure.
But no, I appreciate you having me on, you know, to talk some old head shit.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I definitely want to have you back. I want to tap into more people that have more insight on Chicago hip hop and like just fucking so much cool shit has happened in this city, bro. And
oh, absolutely. And I'd love to come back.
Hell yeah.
You know, even if it's like some DJ roundtable, you know, I would love to come back.
That'd be fucking super dope.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
Definitely make it happen. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you guys for watching. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop a comment, algorithm activating activity. Let's go, champ. Follow Jay Illa. Diamond Cut will have your Instagram up at the beginning on the screen and everything.
Dope.
If there's anything else you want to plug, otherwise, peace.
Timbuktu forever. Go Illa, go home. Peace.
Well, alright. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin. That's what I love about the human soul. It'll usually show when the truth ain't told. Use a lie.